power of networking. All of us understand the importance of networking in our life. But the question here is, how do we do networking effectively? So friends, today what I thought is, let me repeat the session which I did for a young professional group of business entrepreneurs and try to explain it to you through this video so that sitting in the comfort of your homes, wherever you are in the country and across the world, you can understand the benefits and the power of networking. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel CSK Speaks. I am CSK, your personal coach, and today I am here to talk to you about the power of networking. Networking क्या होता है? How do we do networking, and how much of networking is important in our life, and how exactly networking can translate into business results? That's the whole question we are trying to answer through today's video. Now, before we get started with networking, I want to understand one important thing. Do you believe, listen to this question carefully, do you believe first of all that each one of us have a story to tell? I'm pausing here for a second so that you can recollect, do you really believe that you have a story to tell? Now, when I talk about stories, there are many stories which attract us and also inspire us. But what is so unique about your story is your story is unique to you, and there are no people, there can be no other person who has got the same exact story, isn't it? And I want you to remember and bring that story from your life to the forefront. Now you're trying it hard to figure out that story and you're finding it difficult. Let me help you here. Now this goes back to 7th century AD, right? Now when you go back to 7th century, there was this group of people whom we call them as Zoroastrians who wanted to seek refuge in India. So they were being chased from Iran, and because they wanted to get a safe passage, they came to the Kutch of Gujarat, the entry point to the Indian subcontinent. Now when they entered, or were they supposed to enter, they were stopped. They never got a red carpet welcome. Why? Because the then king of Gujarat decided that there is enough and more problems within the country or within his kingdom, and he does not want any uninvited guests. So he sends his general to the gate and tells him to convey to the people who are seeking refuge, the Zoroastrians, the Parsis as we know them, that okay, we don't have any space for you guys and you can walk back. But then the chief of the Zoroastrian community was not a person who will take no for an answer. So what he did is he tried to come up to the general and convince him that his people will be absolutely burdenless for the kingdom. But then the general was not interested to explain. In spite of several attempts, the general thought, okay, maybe there is a problem with the language. So let me demonstrate and tell this man that it is not possible for them to enter. So what he does is he calls for a mug of milk. Yes, a mug of milk. And then he picks up a cup, an empty cup, and starts pouring that mug of milk into the cup till it overflows. And once it starts overflowing, he looks at the Zoroastrian chief and tells him that my kingdom is overflowing with people just like this cup. So there is no space for people like you in my kingdom. Now looking at this entire demonstration, the Zoroastrian chief does not lose hope. Instead, he thinks on his feet and pulls out his story. And that's the story I'm telling you. He pulls out a packet filled with crystals of sugar, and he takes a fistful of sugar and sprinkles over that overflowing cup, and then he looks into the general's eye and says, I am ready to be your sugar, will you be my milk? Now look at that entire impact of just 2 lines, and the rest as we all know, is history that Parsis, Zoroastrians entered India, and ever since they became one among every single citizen of this great nation. In fact, history is testimony to the fact that not once till date that community has indulged itself in any communal disputes or riots. Peace loving, peacemaking, and always progress seeking people from the Parsi community. Now, why did I give you that? Is because for you to go back and see what can be your story. Because the fundamental thing you got to understand when you are trying to leverage the power of networking is pull out your story from your life and tell that story again and again and again to people around you so that people kind of resonate with you through that story. Remember this. We all want to leverage the power of networking for translating it into profits, right? And there's nothing wrong about it. We want our business to grow. We want our network to convert into net worth. But let me tell you this, and this is from my favorite book, Made to Stick. And in that book, they talk about this one line, and I'm giving you that line today. People buy from people first, and then they buy from the people. All right? So people buy people first, and then they buy from the people, and that's what is the most important lesson we need to take back from this particular experience. I like you, you like me, and then we talk business. Networking, at the fundamental essence of it, is about connecting with people. Alright, so now that's being said, how do we connect with each other? Connection comes by expression. And when I talk of expression in all my public speaking classes, and when I talk to students and I talk to professionals, entrepreneurs, there is a big confusion or misconception in their minds that communication is somehow connected to conversations, and conversations happens only when you have command over language. I'm sorry to tell you that that's not how it works. Expression is beyond a particular language. Let me give you an example here. I mean, you must have had a pet in your home, or you must know somebody who has a pet, right? Now, do they speak your mother tongue? Do they speak the language which you understand and comprehend and comfortable with? No. They just know somehow to communicate through expression, and you will easily understand their mood and what they are trying to convey. Why go that far? Look at babies in your home. Even before they learn the language, they communicate effectively with mother, with parents, and even guests and relatives. So communication has got nothing to do with language. Let's not oversimplify that. Let's look at it. Communication has got everything to do with expression. And why that is important is when you have understood that you have a story to tell, the next immediate step forward for networking is to express that story. Now, you may use different varieties to express it. You can use language, you can use gestures, you can use body language in terms of connecting with people through your eyes, or you can use visual or verbal cues. Whatever it is you use, try to express yourself, and that's the second step of networking. Now you may say that, okay, we want to express, but we don't have the confidence. That's an important question, and let's sort that out first. So to get confidence, I'm going to give you 5 simple things which can bring in confidence to you wherever you are, whenever you want, and whoever you might be. All right, so ready for it? Let's go back to the whiteboard and look at what are those 5 steps which will help us to get our confidence intact and in place when you want to express, right? Okay. So the first one, when I talk about confidence building, is your stance. What do I mean by that? You may all see me in this camera. Always have your body weight balanced on both your feet equally. So your stance becomes extremely important for building up confidence, right? So balance your body weight equally on both your feet. Second is your spine. Now when I talk about spine, look at your back. Your spine should be erect. It should be straight. And the minute you have your spine straight, your shoulders fall back, your chest is pumped up, and then you have that comfort to connect with people, and thereby you build your confidence. So second is your spine. Third is your chin. And when I say chin, it should be chin upright. So have it at a good level where you are able to look into people. Remember, confidence comes when you look into people's eyes. And so you got to keep your chin up, spine erect, balanced stance, and build your confidence step by step. The fourth one to build your confidence is your eyes. Yes, this is the most trickiest part, because when you look deep into somebody's eyes, it may come across as intruding. You may make yourself offending someone for no reason. So the best way to look at people through their eyes, not into their eyes, is to have an eye contact which is like a spray. Imagine a deodorant spray or a perfume spray. You just don't focus on one part of your body and keep pressing that button. You just move it around. Same way, sprinkle your eye contact in front of your people. And when you are sprinkling your eye contact, you don't have to move your neck. I'm just demonstrating it so that you get the catch of it. But when you sprinkle your eye contact, people know that you're not afraid to look into their eyes, but at the same time, you're not offending them. And by doing that, by just being ready to show eye contact, you're actually pumping up your confidence. Now the last one, and the fifth most important thing to build your confidence, is smile. And when I say smile, I just mean smile genuinely. In fact, one wise man very nicely said, smile is that curve that sets everything straight. Isn't it beautiful? The advantage of smiling is no matter whether they are a stranger to you or you know them, the minute you start smiling, they smile back at you. And because they smile back at you, it improves your confidence and helps you express better. So just a quick recap: your stance, your spine erect, your chin upright, your eyes, which is a spray. So I'll just put a alphabet Z here so that you know that you got to spray your eye contact, and then the smile, which sets everything straight. So in 5 simple steps, you are able to build up your confidence. So we got the story, then we got the expression, we also worked up on our confidence. Now the last part, which is about networking. Many people come to me and say, all that is fine, but we find it really, really tricky to engage with somebody in a meaningful conversation. How to even start a conversation is something which we don't know, and we don't know how to figure it out. Let me give you 3 simple questions which will help you start any conversation with anyone at any time in any place. Number 1, first of all, whenever you meet someone and you want to connect with them, open up with this question. And the question is, what is happening in their life? Yeah. And the best way to ask that is, what's new which is happening in your life, or what's new in your life? Remember, we all are addicted to WhatsApp. The short form is WhatsApp, which means you're asking what's up in their life. When you are having a conversation, ask it in a more elaborate manner. What's new in their life? What's keeping them busy? What's engaging them at that point in time when you are meeting them? Now, when you ask this, you have fast forwarded the whole conversation, which normally takes you to a dead end, which is we start about, hi there, how are you doing? And then the answer there is, good, okay, I can be better. And that's it. That's the deadlock. Because after that, neither they know what they have to speak, nor you know how to engage forward. But by asking what's new in their life, what's keeping them engaged, what's keeping them busy, you have actually opened up a whole new world for conversations. So that's the first starting point. Second, ask them what are they doing to overcome the challenges which they are facing in their life. Yes, of course, you got to ask what are the challenges they are facing, but also ask them what are they doing to overcome the challenges in their life. Because when you ask them what are they doing to overcome some of those challenges in their life, they will feel that you are really interested in them, and the art of conversation is not so much about speaking, but it's about listening. We've all heard this. You got to be a good listener. But the way to be a good listener is to ask them this question so that they feel confident enough to share a piece of their life with you, and you are intently, carefully listening to them. Now that you have established yourself as a listener and you have built some trust with them, the third and the final question is to ask how you can contribute or how you can help them in overcoming those challenges or anything which you can contribute to their life. You may ask, how will I ask a stranger about how can I contribute? Please look at the fixed things in that conversation. You're not there by the side of the road to meet a stranger. You're there in a particular meeting or a conference or a get together or a gathering, which means you have been invited or you are there for a particular reason, which is almost similar to the same reason what that person or that other gentleman or lady is there attending that program, right? Which means you are not just bumping into someone and asking them, how can you help? You have already established your credibility. So you don't have to keep second guessing yourself as to, you know what, if I ask them how can I help, what if they say, how are you bothered about it, or why should you interfere into my life? No, they won't, because the first question has already built trust. Second question has built credibility that you are a listener, and that's when you are offering to help. And when you offer to help, they start connecting with you at a more emotional level. So these are simple techniques for you to engage with anyone in a meaningful conversation and also build up from there. Now the last part, networking is all about taking advantage of a particular connection and translating it into profits or translating it into some gains. Of course, but then please be careful here. Networking formula does not work when you have the attitude of, I want to grab everything. Because imagine a room filled with business professionals or young entrepreneurs or people like you who are eager to grab everything. Then suddenly it becomes a protection game. Each one of us will have to start protecting whatever we have. We don't want to let go. We don't want to be free. We don't want to be casual about it, right? So networking is not about grabbing whatever you can at the end of the meeting. Networking is all about leaving the value at the table, leaving something behind on the table. Yes, you heard that right. When you are approaching a particular networking event with the intent of leaving something behind when you leave that room, that is the beginning of networking. People often mistake it as, I will take my visiting cards or business cards and distribute it with the people around me, and then I have made connections. Sorry, you have only spread your business card, or you have only exhausted the business cards which you carried to the meeting. You have made connections only when people remember you for the value you have left behind on the table. So the next time you are gearing up for networking, it's okay if you forget your business cards. It's okay if you're not dressed well in that confidence suit. What is important is you remember these things. You remember the story, you remember the conversation, expression, confidence building measures, starting with people by asking questions, and last but not the least, leaving behind something on the table for them to come back to you, because networking, like any other meaningful endeavor in life, is a long-term game. So this is what I want to tell you. And the reason I am making this video today is because when I was talking to a group of 90 odd young businessmen and professionals in the room, I realized that this should reach many more people. This should reach many more people because all of us want to network and enhance our net worth. All of us want to learn the art of effective networking, the power of networking, right? So I thought, if I make a video today and put it up on my channel, I'm sure many people can benefit from this, and that's the only reason I'm engaging with you today in this long format video of telling you the power of networking. Thank you very much for your patient listening. I hope you take back lessons and values, and if you have any more tips or techniques which has worked for you, do feel free to put on my comments column so that others who are watching this video can also learn from this particular video and your learnings or sharings. Thank you once again.